What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. You already know who it is. It's your host with the most, Sendes the greatest, back in this thing with another one. A very special topic is at hand today. As you all know, we're in grave times right now. We're in very desperate times, akin to the times of 1970s when there was the oil embargo that was going on in the I don't actually know which country, but it was going on. And apparently the US was affected greatly. Gas shortages, lines, long lines for just getting gas. And we're already starting to see it in some countries right now. Some countries like the Philippines and others. But today we're going to be going into the Iran war. Wow. All right, yeah. So we're going to be going into the Iran war. And I saw a content creator on Instagram mention that we need to start referring to this as, let me bring down the gain for my mic. Referring this as the Epstein Wars, the Epstein Wars, if I'm gonna get censored by saying this. But hey, apparently everything that was on that Epstein's list and on those files are coming to fruition right now. And the thing that I have to wonder is all of this already orchestrated? Because for some reason, it's been seeming like everybody's complacent in all this, that's what I think. But before we get into that, let's play this ad for you all.
This app fixes the biggest problem with hiring services. Customers no longer have to face no-shows, overpriced quotes, and not knowing who they're hiring. And if you're a provider, you no longer have to chase jobs with no consistency. Mint Soup changes all of that. Just tell the chatbot what you need and it'll handle all the booking details for you. Every provider ID is verified before being active, and you get real photo proof when the job is done. You'll even know if the provider actually showed up. And if they cancel, don't worry about it. Your job will be reassigned to another verified provider. Visit mintsoup.net to sign up for free today.
Okay, so back to the show. So as you know, I've been working on this platform for a good amount of time now, a few years. And I'm glad to say that it's ready for public use. If you do use it, let me know how you feel about it. You'll get direct response from the developer himself and the CEO. So yeah, if it's useful for you, Let me know how it's useful. Put it in the comments below. Check it out. If you're a customer that uses it, let me know how easy it is, how the workflow and everything for you is. And if you're a provider, of course, let me know what needs to be done, what features you'd like, and I'll try to implement as best as I can. But let's continue on to the show. So today we're going to be going into the Iran war. And at the start of this, people were very confident in what they could back for this war, right? That's what I got from it. But now it looks like, the tone shifted a little bit.
And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You can only. And we've won. Let me say we've won. You never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour it was over. But we won. But they gave me a list of names that sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. And as we take decisive action to stop.
It was actually one point. Wait, am I showing up here? Okay, hold on. But anyway, it was actually one point. What is going on? Wait, I think my camera died on me. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. We'll be right up in a second. Hello, hello. All right. Am I back online? I think I'm back online. All right. Sorry about that, folks. That was some technical difficulties, but we are back online. Okay, so back to what we were saying. So at the start of this, they looked very confident in what they were saying. But I remember there was a clip of him literally saying he doesn't know what gets passed. They just bring him bills and he just signs them. He's got his little pen. They gave him his pen, guys, and he loves this pen. Like literally, that's what he said. And honestly, this is the result right now. Like literally, he's been. And of course, you're not gonna say, "Oh, we're losing this war." Like, nah, bro. Like, it's gonna cause mass panic. That's why they always say things are under control when things are breaking down. They don't want people to panic. But let's take a look at this next video to see some of the reality of the situation right now.
So breaking news, we just got proof that it was an American missile which bombed the girls' school in Iran, killing 168 schoolgirls. Now at first, America tried to deny it and they blamed it on Iran, until today when we just got another angle of the attack. And in this video, it shows very clearly that it was an American Tomahawk missile which hit the girls' school. Now America and Israel actually tried to blame the attack on Iran and say that Iran bombed the school themselves to make the Americans and Israelis look bad. But this video that has come out shows conclusively that it was an American missile. And so this has the opposite effect, that the US, rather than saying sorry, is still trying to get around it. For context, American Tomahawk missiles are known as possibly the most accurate missiles in the world. Without a doubt, they're commonly accepted as the most accurate long-range missiles in America's missile inventory. And so that, combined with this new footage today, proves conclusively that America probably bombed this girls' school on purpose. You don't just accidentally enter in the coordinates of an all-girls primary school. We don't know why the US would have wanted to bomb a girls' school. Maybe it's to blame it on Iran and make Iran look bad. Truthfully, we have no idea. All we know is that the US tried to deny it, and now we've just got proof that they did actually bomb it. I don't really think we've ever seen much worse than this in recent history. This is worse than anything I ever saw Israel do in Gaza. And we have categoric proof that it was an American missile, the most accurate missile.
So that was actually a while back ago, but you know, those were the lengths they were willing to go, you know. Those were the lengths. But let's look at some of these comments here. It's shameful to be American in the military right now. Oh shoot, could y'all even see that? I don't know. For some reason, like, I've been logging back into OBS and it would just like rearrange everything I got. So keep in mind, you know, still a work in progress here. Everyone knew it was America. That was 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks, just 3 weeks. That's how much this war's escalated already. Crazy, man. So this was around the time when the Israel population started to be attacked, you know. And again, I honestly don't wish harm on these people, because at the end of the day, it's never really like the entire population that feels the same way, you know. Like it might just only be the radicals, you know, the radical left. You know, that's similar to the US, you know. It's not all, you know, like it's not a certain demographic, like all of a certain demographic that's the same way. So you can't just judge everybody as the same. But as you see here, like, they're against the war. But honestly, they didn't start doing this. They didn't start the protests until they started getting bombed. So, you know, there is that. If you were so against this war, why didn't you do all this while Palestine was getting bombed, you know? And again, I did see some protests happening during that time too, during Palestine. But I didn't really see as many that I needed to see, you know? Like, literally, your neighbors are getting bombed right now. So, it's just unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. let's look at some of the comments though for this. So of course, you know, a lot of people are very divided right now. You know, honestly, it's not all Israelis. I don't think it's all Israelis that feel this way, bro. Like, it goes back to the same thing of they're trying to put the majority against each other. I don't know who they are, but because think about it, why would you want your people to just be targeted worldwide? You know, like, why would you want something like that? No, like, this has got to be a bigger play from somebody else. It's like the same thing with the US, right? Like, you want to put all these different races into certain categories and then just put them against each other, you know? Because it's going to keep people from looking at the real problem. The real problems, you know? All these politicians just literally overstepping Congress and just going ahead and doing what they want without real laws being put in place. And when laws are put in place, they're literally to take away from the citizens. Look at the last couple months, just in the East Coast, at least. I've only mostly seen in the East Coast. You know, that's where I'm mostly focused in. But just look at that, bro. Like, a lot of the laws passed lately have not been in people's favors. The laws, the bills, like, literally the TSA was literally not out of work. They had plenty of work, but they were out of pay. Like, they had no budget for the TSA when they could have literally just moved funds from one department to the other, you know, to keep that going. But it's a hand they want to play, bro. And at the end of the day, the people who are going to be mad are the people waiting in lines. They're going to be mad at the TSA. They're not going to be mad at the government. Yeah, sure, they're going to be mad, but they're going to be mad at the TSA. That's who they're seeing right now, you know? Like, it's all to put people against each other, bro. Make people mad. And of course, you'll see it in these comments too. Yum yum. Like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not gonna say it's good to see these people bombed. Nah. But at the end of the day, your government has to be held responsible, bro.
So we've been covering this war with Iran. Have you seen this big headline? It kind of shocked me, actually. It's the sinking of an Iranian warship by a United States Navy submarine that happened yesterday. Now, it's a big deal. It's the first time we have torpedoed an enemy ship since World War II. You might have come across the grainy footage on social media. It looks like it's from a Tom Clancy movie. And at first you might think, well, you know, we're at war. That's what happens in war. But there's a kind of crazy backstory here. The thing is, that ship was not exactly in the fight. That ship was off the coast of Sri Lanka, thousands of miles away from the theater of war. And it was there for a very specific reason. It was at the invitation of the Indian government, an ally of the United States. India has diplomatic relations with Iran. They had invited a bunch of countries to conduct a joint ceremonial war games exercise. Emphasis there is ceremonial. The theme of the event was, quote, united through oceans. There was even a parade, as you can see. According to a press release from the Navy, the U.S. participated in the event, at least in part. So we definitely knew what was going on. And we must have known that as a condition to participate in the event, the ships that went had to be unarmed, according to the former Indian Foreign Secretary. Iran's ambassador in India also says the ship.
While this stuff was happening, like, I remember it was literally escalating the war. Like, a lot of the things that were happening didn't even need to happen. Like, somebody's just trying to roll through and then they get bombed. Like, is that fair? An unarmed ship. But let's take a look at some other examples. So And now, this is the result. Like literally somebody who's unpaid, going unpaid on the job, is having to teach somebody who's literally there to terrorize other people and getting paid on the clock right now. Meanwhile, they're doing the real work, having to teach their replacement and not get paid for it. It's crazy. Let's look at some of the comments. If ICE replaces TSA, we should all be concerned. They'll track us, query us, scan us, arrest us, deport us without reason or cause. ICE is the American Gestapo. Honestly, even worse than that, I think of the direct correlation between human trafficking and direct access to the airports. Like literally, they don't have to wait to put you in a facility. Like literally, you're on the deportation machine right now. Like you literally came to the slaughterhouse, bro. And now they could just take you, question you, and throw you on a plane trip to Guatemala. Do these TSA agents understand that they're being replaced? I think this guy knows that. Like literally, this guy right here. I'm pretty sure he... Could you guys see my mouse? Nah, y'all can't. I'm pretty sure this guy right here. I'm pretty sure he knows that. Like, he's literally not being paid right now. He's teaching some dude who he knows is a part of an organization that's been curb stomping civilians for no reason. So he knows, he's not being paid right now. Like, that's all he needs to know, bro. This is unpaid labor. Yo, I can't imagine just sitting in that room and then the agents trying to crack jokes and I gotta like pretend to laugh and shit. Like, nah, bro. Like, nah. Nah, we're not doing that.
Tell me you can't win without propaganda without telling me you can't win without propaganda.
Or more fake news from CNN. Reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better.
This is our incompetent Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, telling us out loud that he can't wait for MAGA billionaire David Ellison to buy CNN. All because CNN credibly reported that the Trump administration significantly underestimated the fact that if we bombed Iran, then Iran would close the Strait of Hormuz. Which, by the way, is what's making our gas prices here in America soar up to $8 in some major U.S. cities. And they're mad that CNN is reporting this, even though The Atlantic, The New York Times, and The Hill have all...
This is the craziest fact of everything, bro. Shit is getting expensive here, yo. Like, I literally had to pay $131 for a full tank today. Like, that was a good fourth of a job I just did yesterday. Like, literally. Like, that shit is crazy. And honestly, you could find jobs like those on my website. Speaking of,
This app fixes the biggest problem with hiring services. Customers no longer have to face no-shows, overpriced quotes, and not knowing who they're hiring. And if you're a provider, you no longer have to chase jobs with no consistency. Mint Soup changes all of that. Just tell the chatbot what you need and it'll handle all the booking details for you. Every provider ID is verified before being active, and you get real photo proof when the job is done. You'll even know if the provider actually showed up. And if they cancel, don't worry about it. Your job will be reassigned to another verified provider. Visit mintsoup.net to sign up for free today.
So yeah, you'd be able to do jobs like those on my website, where you could get bookings as a provider for things like moving services, which is what I did yesterday, and landscaping. That's what I usually do in the spring and summertime. Snow removal, that's around the winter. And if you're into, like furniture assembly and other things like that, we got those too. Hairstylists, we need you on there. And yeah, let's make services great again and fluid again. So, as you can see, there are consequences for getting into this war right now. A lot of different countries are feeling it, literally worldwide. Asian countries, Australia, honestly, I haven't heard much of African countries feeling this, feeling this pain of oil. But hey, it's being felt all around the world right now, especially in the US. All right, shit is getting expensive, bro. In Jersey right now, we're seeing around like $4 a gallon. Today, the one I got was like $3.80 something, but that shit was way too high for a full tank, bro. $131 is ridiculous, bro. So much so that I ran out of gas, like literally. But hey,
also reported the fact that they look incompetent. And for those of you who don't know, this is Larry Ellison and his son David. They control all of these platforms because they know that if they controlled platforms like CBS News and CNN, that would be their biggest direct form of censorship. CBS is one of the big three broadcast networks aside from ABC and NBC, reaching tens of millions of homes that don't even have cable. And CNN is still the default TV news in airports, waiting rooms, and households that think they're watching neutral news. Controlling those news networks allows the Ellisons to set the national agenda, dictating what gets covered and what gets ignored, like ICE brutality, billionaires consolidating media companies, and the genocide in Gaza. They can also control the framing of immigration, protests, wars, elections, and deplatform political figures and movements that they don't like. But not everyone watches the news, so of course they needed to also control BET, MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and Showtime. It's more subtle, but
yo, honestly, this has been a win. If anyone's been watching Tubi lately, we've been getting Cartoon Network over on Tubi, because I heard that they did purchase Tubi as well. We've been getting Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon shows, a whole lot of stuff, BT.
but more dangerous long term, because these networks don't tell you what to think. They tell you what's cool, what's funny, what's normal, and who matters. The Ellisons controlling BET, for example, can try to shape black cultural identity, black political consciousness, and what black excellence looks like on TV. With MTV, they can try to dictate youth culture, music, fashion, values, and who gets amplified. With Nickelodeon, they reach children before they can even critically think. With Comedy Central, they can control political satire, who gets mocked, who gets humanized, and dictate what's a joke versus what's serious. And controlling Showtime means controlling premium prestige storytelling, which historical narratives get dramatized and whose stories get told. In their minds, if they can control culture, they can control consensus. But they also have Warner Brothers Studios, Paramount Pictures, New Line Cinema, and DC Studios. These studios produce the stories that define American identity, heroism, villainy, and history. The Ellisons controlling these platforms can decide which historical events get dramatized, control which superheroes and archetypes become cultural icons, shape how war, government, and protests are depicted on screen, greenlight or kill films about inconvenient topics, and also influence global perception of America and American values. Two of the biggest film studios in history under one family means they literally write the propaganda and myths America tells itself. And that leaves the other networks that seem like fillers, like Pluto TV or the Free Press, HBO Max, Discovery, the Food Network, TNT, TBS. Those networks seem harmless, but they aren't. The Ellisons controlling those can occupy leisure time with passive, apolitical content, keeping people distracted and disengaged, and they also control the streaming landscape, so independent voices have no platform to compete on. In their minds, if they keep people watching renovation shows and true crime, they won't be worried about Trump and MAGA destroying the country.
Yeah, that's true. Bread and circus, you know. How do you feed the people and keep them preoccupied while we do whatever we need to do in the background? Give them free media. Free media, baby. But that's going to be it for today, folks. It was just a short video today. But I look to see you all here next time on The Get Up Show, folks. We are out of here.